Hello, welcome for an Oracle Fusion session. Today, we will check about the absence fast formula. So, what exactly is fast formula in Oracle system? And why do we use it? How is it going to be helpful in the absence module? So, we will check that in detail. Probably we'll divide this into 2 to 3 sessions because fast formula to cover in a single session would be tedious. So today we will see the basics of fast formula, how to generate a basic fast formula. Probably in the next session, we will see how to create the fast formula. Okay. So, like I was saying, fast formula is used as a custom script. So if I have to derive some custom logic to the system, then I'll apart from whatever that is available from the Oracle system as the setups configurations. If I would like to define something on my own based on the customer requirement, then I could make use of the fast formulas. Using the fast formula, we can derive whatever the logic that we are looking and then apply that to the setup or the results that we are looking for. So now in the absence fast formulas are widely used in the benefits module, absence module, payroll module, compensation as well. In the core HR, if you could think where we apply the fast formula, uh, like to derive the seniority dates, we had seen that. So we will make use of the fast formula. In absence, there are multiple places that we can make use of the custom logic because of the fast formulas. Uh, First, we will just see the overview of the fast formula, and then we'll get into the system and see how the fast formulas can be applied in the multiple places in plan configurations, eligibility, defining the eligibility, and then absence type configurations. So where all it can be applied, we will see that in the system. So, like I was saying, this is to derive the custom logic. So, whatever that is not there, if our customer needs is not going to fit in with the setups, the default setups, then we make use of the fast formulas. And yeah, that is to derive the values dynamically. So, if I have to have any fixed accrual value, in such cases, I already have a matrix method where I could define the fixed accruals with the rate. If it is going to change based on the grades, based on the different assignment, then we can make use first formulas. So first, let's try to understand the components of the fast formula. What is all there in the fast formula components? Huh? And so here, if we see, so first thing that we have to know or get something from past formula is some output. So there has to be a written statement. A written statement is going to give us the output value. Uh, so a written statement is going to give us the output value. Based on what do we need the output value? Some logic. So how do we define this? That is through the expressions. So this expressions is nothing but if condition, while condition, loop conditions, what we add. That is the expressions. And how do we add this kind? This is called to be as a conditional logic. Okay. So we say, okay, if this is the so and so assignment, then give him the accruals as this. If it does not, give him the accruals as a different value. So this is called as conditional logic, which is used through variables. So how do we do this? If grade is equal to A1, okay, then we give you the accrual as this. In such cases, we define it as a conditional logic. And then this is called as assignment expression. So we are assigning something to some workforce structure here as grade. So some values is being assigned to it, which is why it is called as uh, assignment expression. And so if I have to get some values. I need some inputs from the system. So I need to define the inputs as well. Okay. Like if I'm actually having the grade as the input value, I need to force the input value so that based on it, the logic is defined. In such cases, the input should be defined. So in this, it is like you calling the value from system. Okay. And then we need, in case the input value is not available, Oracle says that I'm not able to find it, the data in the database. Uh, in such cases, what may happen, the fast formula may break. Okay, it may result in error. If you do not want that to happen, you have to pass yourself some values as default. As a backup value, you say that, okay, in case you're not finding any input values, pass this as a input value. So in such cases, as a fallback, we define the defaults. So this is more like a backup. Okay, what do you default? Some DBIs, some input variables, so that you want to default with some values. Let us assign some values so that in case Oracle isn't able to fetch the value, then while executing the fast formula at the runtime, it is going to take the value that is available in the default. So in fast formula, we have only these much of basic components. In the condition, we use the functions. We have some functions like uh, days between to identify what is the days between so and so, so that if days is between this so and so value, we have to give some employee some eligibility. If that is all the case, we can make use of all this delivered functions. Days between, months between, days between, months between, and then add days, greatest of, so all this least. So all these are the functions that we could make use of in the fast formulas. So these are the components that we have got in the fast formula, and we need to know where all it could be used. So it could be used in the plan setup, absence type setup, eligibility profile. Also, we have seen the last session, like during the scheduling process, also there was a place where we could select the person selection criteria. That is, we need not have to run the process to every staff. Then we select that staff, hard code it in the fast formula, or based on some condition, we derive them. And only for those set of employees, selected employees, if we are running the process, that also we could do it through the fast formula. And the type of fast formulas in the absence includes, so this absence fast formulas isn't only included in the absence. Like I had said in the beginning, it is used in other modules as well, but it is widely used in the absence. And in absence itself, we have different types. For accrual, we need to select. We cannot have, because what happens when you're trying to select a fast formula, let's say I'm trying to select an accrual formula, and I have defined it as a some other formula in the absence itself, like rate and participation and rate eligibility. I have defined it. But while executing also, it doesn't get compiled. Also, while I'm selecting, it doesn't comes in the drop down. So it is important that we know what are the types of absence fast formulas that is available, and we define the formula at specific place so that it is going to be available while choosing under the setup. So we have accrual matrix, eligibility formula, that is participation and rate eligibility. This participation and rate eligibility could be used in talent management, benefits. It is to give a criteria for the eligibility. And validation, global absence entry validation. It is while you are submitting an absence, if you want to check certain things, then we make use of the entry validation formula. Likewise, similarly, we have uh, duration formula, and then a carryover formula, waiting fast formula, proration formula, event formula. So there are multiple formulas that we have in the absences. So where all that we make use of, we to derive the accruals, proration, carryover during the validation of multiple bases that we use. So for debugging the fast formula, inside the fast formula, what we could do is we could write the debugging statement. The debugging statement is log write statement that we have, which we could make use, or in the log file based on whatever that is getting printed in the log write statement. While we execute the fast formula, we will know, or while executing the scheduled process like calculate accruals from log write statement, whatever is data is printed, we will be able to track where exactly the fast formula has broke and it has given us the wrong results. So that's how you could debug as well. So you would be able to do it in the lower instances with the sample data before moving any of your pass formula to the production instance. We could make use of messages error as well. Warning and error messages could be used in the validation formula so that it gets printed when something is stopping from submission of absence, then warning or error message has to be thrown. If that is the case, the warning and error message can be seen while submitting. And how do we migrate it? Is through application package. We have an implementation package that we could create, and through that we can migrate. Also, we would be able to migrate the fast formula through HDL as well. If we are migrating multiple fast formulas, making use of the HDL, we would be able to migrate them. Okay, let's see it in the system how the fast formulas all look. Now I'll just show you where all that we would be able to attach the fast formula. If I just click on create, and this is an accrual plan. So in the accrual plan, at the second page, go, I'll just keep some here. Okay. If you see, even for enrollments also, enrollment start and end date also, we will be able to add the formula. So if you see as of event, that means when the event happens, that is higher, or when he gets eligible, do you want that effective date to be or higher date to be enrollment start date, then you keep it as of event. Or else the formula, like you want to have the enrollment start date as a specific date. In such case, based on some rule, then you can make use of a start date fast formula. For this, the absence type, the fast formula type is enrollment start date only. We have separately have it. And then for this end date also, we can choose the formula as well. So if it is as of event, that is when the day he loses the eligibility or when there is a termination of the staff. On that date, it gets undated. If not, if you want to choose another date, you can make use of the fast formula. So if you choose fast formula, you'll be able to choose the formula here. So as soon as you choose here, if there are any end date formula type defined, you will be able to see that here. Even while defining the fast formula, we select the legislation. So based on legislation and the type, you will be able to see that in the drop down. Okay, then in the eligibility profile also, apart from what is there defined setup, if there is any um, uh, other logic that you have to do it, that is some combination of some grades, jobs, my departments and all, if you want to use, you can make use of the fast formula and you can attach that eligibility. You have to attach that formula to eligibility profile, and that eligibility profile has to be attached here. In the accruals, you can have a formula itself. here and choose the accrual formula, that is global absence accrual formula. Or else if you choose the matrix itself, in the matrix there again you can choose the formula. Okay, here if you select the matrix, you have to select create here, and then you would be able to give an expression here itself saying that you're it's more like hard coding some values. If not, you can choose the formula here. This is called as global accrual matrix formula. And the proration formula also we have got that we could make use of as well. Vesting rule formula, if it is a elapsed period, which means if I select elapsed period, we could give the hard-coded values based on the unit of measure. If not, I could use the formula. Then you could choose the vesting period formula. As well, so the accrual proration rule, if I select it as formula, not here, the proration would be selected here. And ceiling rule also, we could select ceiling rule, carry over, everywhere we would be able to select the formula here. Okay, now let's go and see the absence type. Under absence type, we would be able to choose the fast formula, like here, this is the place where we could choose if there is a conversion formula. The conversion formula type would be the absence type duration. So if there is a conversion, why do we make use of this conversion formula? If we have to convert the unit of measure from one unit of measure to another one, like from hours to days, or some specific reporting purposes or anything, we can make use of this conversion formula. And then comes the validation formula. So this conversion formula can only be applicable, is only applicable for absence type and validation as well. This eligibility profile, like I said, what we saw in the plan, the formula can be attached to eligibility profile and that can be attached here. So this is all the place that we could make use of the fast formula. In the schedule process as well, let's once check where we can attach the. So this is the place. If we define the formula based on person, there's a person selection type. If we define that, you would be able to select that here. Okay, now let's go to the fast formula and see it. If to navigate, you have to click on My Clients Group, and then show more and fast formulas. So here you have formula name, description, types. What are the types that you have selected? So there are multiple absence types. All of this are for different modules available. Like I said, you have to choose a legislative data group. Compiling status. The compiling status would be these four. It's compiled, if you did not compile at all, or if it has not errored out because of some issues in progress. That means it it hasn't initiated yet. So we generally do not make it as in progress. It's either three of this. And the effective date, when do you want the fast formula to be effective from? So if I click on this, you have a fast formula name that you could just select. I'll say test training. Will not compile this group. So I'll just select it as global absence matrix. We will see how to create one sample. If it has to be effective starting from the beginning, you can make the state. Whenever this formula to be effective from, you can give that date. So, see, default and input statement, they are all not mandatory. If I just say accrual is equal to 5 days, no matter what, then I'll just say return. See, for this, I need not have to write an accrual formula because I could do this in the matrix we have available default setup. Still, if I just say it as this, return accruals, we must know what are the output statement for each of this fast formula. So it would get easier for us to write a fast formula. See, let's say for accrual formula, what we can return is accrual you could return. You could also return the carryover. Whereas for eligibility, you can return the eligibility. Enrollments you can return, be it start date or end date. And validation, whether it's valid or not, you could return valid. And carryover, you could return the carryover. So this way we would be able to return what uh, formula that we are working. So it got compiled. So this formula is in the Australian legislative group. I will be able to attach this. Okay. But if I have to do, but just using these two lines, it doesn't serve any purpose of me using the past formula, right? So that is when we make use of the conditional logic default statement just to ensure that we give some backup values. We pass some inputs. So that also we could do. Let's do some simple fast formula now. Let's say based on the hire date of the staff, we need to identify what is the accrual. So, how do we pass the input values here? We need to associate or tag along with the database table. How do we do that? Using the database item. So, this is where we can fetch the data that is available in the backend tables. Okay. Or if you, so here at the right side, any database that you wanted to search, like let's say based on the hire date, if I have to search. If I just click on search, all the databases that is available related to the higher dates is all available here. So based on what is available, you would be able to also see the description. The data type is also available. What is the data type? So that also is available. Uh, so now in this accrual formula, we have to return the numbers. Okay, that we must always remember what we are going to return and what is the data type. Because this is going to be helpful while we are getting some error during the compiler, what exactly is there at, that we'll be able to identify. And so database item we will be able to search it. So now what I'll do, just so there are two database items. So this is the global transfer date, but I wanted the latest hire date. So I'll just select it as add. Now I'll say default for is I need to give a default, right? That I give it as. Uh, will also give it number format, date and time. This is the data type. I would do this. And in case any functions that we have, what are the functions available? So what are the data type descriptions? Like these are the columns available. We would be able to search them here. Likewise, what are the variables? If we want, we would be able to global variables, whatever that is there. If I want to search it, I would be able to search it here. So now what I'll do, now for, I'll say, um, if, okay, for this I'm just going to assign some variables and higher date. This is a local variable, which is going to be applicable only for the first formula. If this is this, if L underscore higher date is greater than 2025 0101, then accruals is equal to 5 days, else accruals is assigned as 3 days. Okay, so if I just say return the accruals. Based on the higher date, I'm actually saying that if this is this, if it is greater and or equal to this date, then you give me this date, I mean, give me this accruals. If not, you say accrual equals to 3. Mm, It's submit it and compile in case there are any errors. I would be able to check them. Says the statement has an invalid combination of data types. So this what we are saying, this data type and what we are saying, this is not the same. Don't remember if we have this noted or not. Let's check this. Okay, all right. What we'll do, we'll just say, we'll give another variable saying L underscore effective date. Not effectively, some will say it. Going to define two variables and see if this is going to work. Okay, so this got compiled. If I attach this formula to an accrual formula, then what it will see? It will check for employees hire date. If it is uh, greater than 2025, first Jan, and then it is going to give an accrual as for 5 days. If not, it will give accrual as 3 days. So this way, we will be able to achieve the whatever the desired accrual we would like. Now, this can be expanded as well. How we could do is along with a higher date, we need some other logic. That is, this needs to be checked only for specific job family. So if not for everyone, it is going to be 5 days. Only for certain job family, it has to give 5 days as the accruals. based on the hire date. If that is the case, we can extend this by fetching the DPI for job family and then taking a combination of job family and the hire date uh, and then assigning the accrual accordingly. So this way we could enhance the fast formula in a way based on the customer would ask for.